What's up, YouTube?
My name is Ben.
My name is Eric, and this is Art
Versus Entertainment.
In each episode, we're going to be showing a film to the other.
I'm going to be introducing shitty 90s and 2000 flicks.
And my focus is going to be more on 40s, 50s, art house, and foreign films.
I'm going to try to convince him that these movies aren't so fucking shitty.
And I'm going to try to convince this fucking guy that my films aren't a bunch of pretentious bullshit.
You ready?
Let's fucking do it.
For episode 1, we're going to be reviewing Alpha Dog. Would you tell me what you know about this movie?
I know about next to nothing about this movie. I've never seen it. I know Justin Timberlake is in it.
JT!
I was aware of when it came out. I think I was working at a record store then. I remember the release, but that's a movie I would skip, I think.
This is my bread and butter shit. We got Harry Dean Stanton as Grandfather Weed. We have Bruce Willis as Daddy Weed, and Emile Hirsch as the main actor.
Damn, alright.
Beyond that, the cast goes incredibly deep, including Sharon Stone, Ben Foster, and a ton of other actors. Writer-director Nick Cassavetes.
Oh shit, okay. Yeah, John Cassavetes' son. Yeah.
So, if you guys don't know, he did the adapted screenplay for The Notebook as well as Below.
Okay.
He's a high-stakes poker player. The dude's a G.
Okay, cool. I mean, his dad is too, yeah.
Tell me about that.
His dad is one of the most interesting kind of art house film directors. His early films like Faces and Shadows are very avant-garde, and then, I mean, he had a cast of characters. Peter Falk is in a lot of his films. I think he was married to Gina Rollins. She was in it. I think that's Nick's mother. But Killing of a Chinese Bookie, I think I've shown that to you. That's John Cassavetes. I'm excited to see what his son can do.
Let's hop into it. It's like a 2-hour movie, Weed, California, based on a true story. What do you think?
I'm stoked. It was heartbreaking. It was hard for me to watch. I mean, I don't... Those true life films they're just devastating. I mean, you hate to see...
I mean, it was super fun at the beginning. We're in California, a bunch of rich kids, Palm Springs, you know. But then I felt like it took a turn about halfway through.
It does, absolutely. Well, I think the character depth starts to get stronger. I think you start to feel the emotions that these characters are feeling.
Especially through JT's character.
Especially through JT. Maybe only through JT. He's the one that drives the film.
He felt more complete. I mean, Emile Hirsch's character, I mean, he was sort of like...
He was nonchalant about all of it,
yeah.
It seemed like. It seemed like he didn't really care about anything.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't have any depth to him whatsoever. He didn't seem like he had a conscience.
You know, not like he didn't have emotions, but he was just the one who was ready to actually murder a 15-year-old kid.
Exactly. For the sake of the greater good.
Facing life, and it's not cool.
Right. Well, and there's only so many outcomes to a situation like that.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you've seen it?
God, 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Yeah, and so, like, I liked it a lot. Maybe I thought it was better than it actually was.
No, that's great. I'm glad it's been 10 years for
you. I think IMDb has it at, like, a 6.6. But to me, it's a solid 6. How do you feel about it?
I mean, sure, yeah, if we have to give it a number rating, like, 6 is fine. Like, Ben Foster's character
plays the tweaker really well.
Yeah, he overacted to me.
Okay.
Yeah, he was too much.
Overacting, but how do you feel about Sharon Stone?
She didn't have a big enough role. The only time we see her overact is in the documentary scene. I would assume they're pretty accurate, and I mean, they filmed that interview with her in a hospital, kind of implying that she was put into an institution.
Yeah, you know, like, I wonder how accurate it is, but I feel like the way that she was playing the character, she really loved her son, and I can't even begin to imagine what it's like for a mother like that to lose, like, their 15-year-old kid. And that's what they kept reinforcing.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's all good. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, the kid's 15, like, right. he's still a child.
Absolutely.
And they treated him well, you know, they got him drunk and high, and they got him laid, but, like, they ended up killing him at the end of the day, and it was a fun movie, but, like, the reality of the situation is that this actually happened.
Yeah,
which is really
I mean that's the hardest part for me because and they even allude to it. They show Bruce Willis trying to get Emile Hirsch to call it off, right? And
Yep.
they show that 10-second clip right before, and then they never cut back to that exchange ever again. We don't know if he calls him. We don't
Right.
see anything,
Right.
and it kind of builds that hope up in your heart that
Well,
this
they're
isn't
not-
going
they're
to
not
happen.
gonna do
And
that.
I watched that whole scene unfold thinking that there was going to be a phone call, that there wasn't. Well, I mean, we know that there's going to be some sort of a trial. We don't know if it ends in murder.
That's true.
Yeah. But, and Ben Foster's character never reappears after the second half of the film.
I mean, some of the editing, like at the end, I don't know, like the story felt like maybe a little bit disjointed.
I felt like, yeah, I mean, if we want to get down to it, yeah, it kind of lags at the end there. It just
Yeah.
feels disjointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's after the killing.
The movie falls apart, like story-wise.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
they don't mention it, explicitly when they pick up Johnny Truelove or whatever the guy's name in real life is in Paraguay, but I know for sure that's a country that doesn't have extradition with the United States.
Okay.
So I know if you are trying to run from the feds, you go to one of these countries, but I think that apparently Interpol can still get you.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we looked it up. He was captured and convicted and is serving life in prison without parole. So
On a lighter note, how did you feel about Harry Dean Stanton's character?
I thought, I mean, that's the funny thing about it is I thought the older actors were absolutely
They
on
did well.
point.
Yeah. I mean,
But they were bit characters, and that
Yes.
is part of where it fell flat for me. Emile Hirsch didn't feel the
he
most
was too
authentic.
deep,
The most authentic thing about him is that he didn't feel authentic, right? He didn't feel like he
well,
belonged,
his character wasn't genuine. I mean, he was playing like a hard drug dealer,
and he
then
wasn't.
He wasn't, but he ended up doing what he thought was like what he had to do to become that character or to
Right.
be that person.
Yeah.
And we see the consequences.
I mean, he's a flawed character, no doubt, and because he watches those guys break into his house. He has a chance to kill them and end all of this right
And it's
now,
very
but
clear
he
that he
can't
doesn't,
because
right.
he's a fucking weenie.
Yep.
And instead, he ropes in all of his friends and brings them down with him, and ends up killing a 15-year-old in the end.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's horrible.
What was super cringy was going back to 2006 times. I thought that I don't know, it sort of showed me how far we've come, culturally, since 2006 to
Right,
2020.
but yeah, what's PC
The way
and what's
they're
not?
throwing around, I can't even say it. Like they're saying fag. They're saying the F word,
Right.
not that other F word. They're throwing around fag. They're calling bitches. They're sort of like glorifying weed in a way that
It's incredibly homophobic. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't realize that it wouldn't age so well. And
Right.
just to see JT just throwing around fag, and bitch was like, it felt a little bit weird.
It absolutely does. I mean, and I'm always skeptical to pin that on the film or the director. I mean, because that very much we were in
felt
high school
it
in
felt
06,
authentic for
and
the time.
and as regrettable as it is, we used those words during that time at that age.
Yeah, he gave him
you
like
know,
a
it-
Ziploc bag of like a 40 bag of weed. I thought it was done sort of accurately.
I mean, it kind of felt like the OC on weed, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. It's just the rich kids in Palm Springs.
Oh
and,
God, they're pieces of shit.
And it
yeah.
was about family too. It was like the disconnect with all the other rich kids and their parents.
Right. I mean, see, that was a thing that I thought could have been more fleshed out. I thought,
Definitely.
with the build-up, with the intro with Bruce Willis and doing the interview,
Mhm.
and he's talking about family. I mean, we see it with Sharon Stone's character and the father, but it just didn't really go anywhere with it. It just kind of held it out there.
No. All in all, it was entertaining. It's really sad, devastating that it actually happened in real life. But I'm glad we did it.
I'm glad we did it too. If we hadn't done this, I don't know if I wouldn't have turned it off after a half hour.
Oh, I
and
felt
that's
like
the
turning it
problem.
off one or two times in the beginning.
Okay.
But because we're doing this, we're not going to do it.
Exactly.
But it's clearly incredibly cringy.
There's a lot of cringe moments to it. Yeah.
But I'm glad we finished it.
I'm glad we finished it too. I wish it hadn't ended the way it did. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shitty story. Pulled off by shitty people. Yeah. And never seeing Ben Foster's character again really bothered me. Because that was what this whole thing was based off.
There was, we needed another scene with him.
He was supposed to be, I don't know. And this has been my problem with Ben Foster in other roles too. He's too crazy. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's absolutely out of the norm of reality.
But some people are actually like that.
I know, but
very few. But no, I mean he's pushing. Okay, I can hear that.
And in the end, there's no repercussions to him. He wasn't the bad guy in this film, but they pin him as the bad guy.
Well, it was his fault that he ran up a drug debt with some drug dealers, and it's his direct actions which got his younger brother killed.
Absolutely, but he faces no repercussions. In fact, he's
losing his brother.
Absolutely, but I mean, is that going to fix him? No, he's a piece of shit, man.
Yeah.
That guy was god awful trash garbage.
Yeah.
Him hanging out with the kid hanging out with JT,
he was a better influence.
Fuck yeah, he was.
I mean, it could have been overacted a little bit. I just sort of like the
I just don't get why do you put those overacting scenes in it for a character who is essentially meaningless.
When he beat up all the kids at the party, he's clearly on meth, and he was tweaking in the office with his boss. Like, dude, I'm right fucking there.
There's no other drugs other than weed mentioned in the film.
I think we're meant to assume that he's tweaking
because of his overacting.
Yeah. I just you remember in Hell or High Water when he's sticking the $100 poker chip up the.
But that character was fully fleshed out. We knew.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, he was that character, and he was that character in every single scene. But at the same time, there was a heart to that character, and
that's why it's like a 5. I'm lowering my rating. I feel like it's not a 6 out of 10 as we talk about.
Is this what's gonna happen every week, Ben?
Maybe next week I'll try to bring something of a little bit higher quality. But I thought this film had some redeemable elements.
It was worth watching.
The cast itself. So Sharon Stone. Who else can we list? Emile Hirsch, Bruce Willis, Ben Foster,
Anton Yelchin.
We didn't even talk about
We haven't talked about
it.
I mean, fucking how goddamn heartbreaking is this movie, especially considered all the events that have transpired. It's I was in that final death scene. It's I was hoping he was gonna survive just for the sake of reality, you know.
If the audience isn't aware, Anton Yelchin. Anton Yelchin passed away
at the age of 27. I mean, let's see. He was born in the same year as we were, so he would have been 17, 10 years after the movie was filmed.
If he was born in the same year and it came out in 2006, we were 17.
Yeah, he would have been 17.
Shit.
Yeah. And he was one of the best actors in the film, I thought.
I think he was the best actor in the movie.
Yeah. Him or JT, yeah.
JT was solid.
At least in a starring role, because Harry Dean Stanton, as always, was...
Big part always.
But he fucking slays every scene he's in. Right. You know, Bruce Willis was terrific, I thought. Yeah.
But Anton, he felt...
like a 15-year-old. He felt like an innocent 15-year-old that everybody would love. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly who he was, yeah. Yeah. Sucks, man.
Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Should you check it out, or was this a fucking bust?
Right.
Would you recommend this to anyone?
I mean, certain people, like you.
Yeah. We dealing...
Watching too many music videos.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. That was the line. But that was the one time that fucking character had any heart to him.
Yeah.
He was the only one that understood the shit, and then he just completely didn't understand it, and was like, yeah, I'm fucking killing this guy because Emile Hirsch wants me to.
Yeah. I was with, everyone else in the movie except for that kid, because, you can actually kill somebody.
Exactly. Well, and that's how, the way they did that scene was brilliant, I thought. I mean, it's just, and it was half a second, and JT fucking dead.
JT didn't think it was really going to happen.
No.
But he was duct taping him up, and, walking him up,
I don't know what JT was thinking, because he was lying his fucking ass off to that kid's face. Mm-hmm. But I mean, shit. And when he saw the newspaper, man, he was...
Well, I mean,
he was so nonchalant. He wasn't bugged out by that shit at all.
No, he's putting on a shirt. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to wake up after you killed somebody.
Yeah, no, I'll never know.
Try to pretend
everything's normal. Exactly. Yeah. And also, it's like it's tough with based on true story films to really discredit the way shit went down, because these obviously in real life these kids were fucking stupid and they killed a 15-year-old, and I'm sure, you know, like,
All respect to him and his family.
well, of course, yeah. I mean they made this goddamn movie about it. Yeah. I mean it's just a fucking heartbreaking story. Yeah. Pulled off by shitty people. And so for me that's a hard movie to watch because there's really nothing redeeming about it.
No, I guess if you can learn that, like, don't get in over your head. I've heard if you, like, grab somebody and you move them, like, 3 yards or something, it's considered, like, kidnapping or something. So if you're watching this and, like, don't play around with that shit.
And you shouldn't be anyway. You shouldn't even be thinking about it in the first place. But, I mean, yeah, is that the lesson this film teaches?
I guess. Is that the best thing we can pull from it?
I mean, yeah, rich fucking white kids who sell drugs are pieces of shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I guess.
I
Yeah, don't do murder, don't kidnap, don't get in over your head.
Yeah. Don't be Nazi Jews.
No,
That
don't
doesn't make sense.
Don't do that. I guess it makes me excited for whatever you're going to present me with.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little
next
different.
episode. I
Yeah.
hope it's of a little bit higher quality.
I mean,
It has to
in
be.
my opinion,
It has to be. It's going to be a little bit of a different take.
it's gonna
but
be way different.
I'm glad we did this, especially as our first episode. I'm
I
glad
am too.
I'm
I
glad
think this
that
is a good starter.
they
for
were
us.
here to join us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for sticking through it.
Yeah, maybe you'll see Alpha Dog. Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, if we
maybe
start,
I've already seen it.
if we
yeah.
start with Alpha Dog, we can only go higher.
I mean, we could go lower for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw some trash in there. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm ready for an art house after this shit.
I got a good one. Yeah, I already know what we're gonna watch next week, and it's gonna be. It couldn't be further from this. Yeah.
Great. I think that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Adios.